Bill and Tom are here. Both of them. Want to welcome everybody, and get us started here. But I'm going to, at this time, going to go ahead and invite Tammy Joyce to come up and say our opening prayer.
Just bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we come here today with grateful hearts. We're thankful for the time we get to fellowship together and share. We thank you for the hands that prepared our food and the food that we just are in the midst of eating. Lord, as members of Rotary, we are called for service, not for recognition, but to uplift our community, bring light maybe where there's not a light. Help us do that light, Lord. Bless our time together. Please guide our discussions. Maybe it'll spark new ideas, deepen our commitment, strengthen our efforts. May we be ever mindful of those that we serve. And may our actions reflect kindness, purpose, and hope. Give us eyes to see, Lord. Give us eyes to see and to be encouragement to those around us. Lord, we just love you so much and we praise your name. Amen.
You'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Tom.
All right, with Nancy Wood's fine help, let's sing "Oh Susanna." Put in an application. Hopefully soon.
Hopefully soon. Yes, soon. Next week. No, so we're excited to have you on board. Jesse, Wayne? Wayne?
Yes, sir. I have my friend Minnie here.
Good to see you. Who?
Quincy Williams.
Oh, Dr. Quincy Williams here.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
eventually, buddy, it's gonna happen. Next week.
Yes, next week, official. We got a lot of new members official next week. I have two guests with me, and you're supposed to stand. I'm going to call you and wave and say hello. I have my two youngest. Stand up. I have Lucas. There you go. And I have Cole. You all get to see, first of all, I do actually have kids and a spouse, even though most of you have never met. In 10 years, we've talked about that. But we want to welcome everybody. Just a friendly reminder of remaining respectful of speakers as they come up today. We did not get things worked out for the service project. We're going to do that another time, though. Maybe if we can get stuff for Club Assembly next week, it would save you from having to listen to me for the whole time. But with just some circumstances, didn't have stuff for that. But it's okay. We'll make it happen. So Corey's going to give us a Parks and Rec update today. Announcements and upcoming events. Already covered these two. Dr. Williams and Mosen are joining us council members next week, so we're excited to have you. And also next week is club assembly, so if you choose to skip, you will be charged extra for your meal. That comes directly from Hope, right? Sam's got the prayer and Cindy's gonna split the pot. April 11th, one of my favorite things I'm looking forward to, the Elvis impersonator with Habitat for Humanity. Tickets are $75, see Judy if you want those. Coach, do you want to say anything about Hall of Fame dinner?
Plenty of tickets available. See me if you'd like a ticket.
Well said. just like a champ. All right. Save the date for Kentucky Derby. Even better. Heather, I assume there's no updates. No updates. Okay.
I will say, we have, all of our major sponsorships have been sold or taken except for one. We have one $1,500 sponsorship left. The rest are like the $500, $250, and $100 sponsorships. Thank you to our committee. I'm not sure any of the sponsorship committees here today, but thank you. They worked really hard. Rick Phillips heading up those efforts. Also, probably later this week, the invitations will go out. The website for the event will be live, and I intended to bring it this week. The next week we'll have something on the tables where we have a QR code where you can just scan it, go on, register for the event. If you go to the Thomasville Rotary Club website, there is a link for the 2025 Kentucky Derby. So if you click that link, it will take you to registration if you want to do it that way. Register as soon as you can. And Kim's saying register as soon as you can. We feel like we're a little late getting the invitations and registration up and going. So again, do those registrations. Thank you.
Thanks, Hope. All right. Another pancake breakfast coming up to support Memorial Day Parade Ceremony Committee. And then spring into downtown Thomasville. Cameron, did you want to say anything about that?
Team.
Tammy, do you want to say anything about that?
Yes, it's a fun day. So Friday night, from 6 to 6:30 to 9:30, it's a piano festival. We'd love to see all of you downtown, and please dance on the street because it's the year of the dance. And then the next day, it's going to be a very fun day. You guys are going to be busy all day because that morning is farmers market and spring days, and then that evening is our derby. So while I'm up, I just want to remind you, the city has this really cool trailer, toolbox trailer. We're out today, we're trying to be visible, so we're setting up at the fountain and the clock tower. But if your church, or any club like Rotary, anybody want to do a service project, you can literally check out the whole trailer. There's rakes, lawnmowers, leaf blowers, all you would need. Also, you can share it, it would help me a lot if you would go to the downtown website or the city website and share that it's out there today. If you just want to check out the lawnmower, like someone's going to, this weekend, it's going to be nice and warm, we're going to try to start the lawnmower, maybe they'll start, they can check out a lawnmower for the city. And I feel like we've pushed the message out a lot, but it's so hard to get the message out these days. So if you can help share that, it'd be great. Thank you.
All right. Blood drive, April 17th. Last one in February was tough because I guess of weather issues. So definitely a need for the blood drive April 17th, and that's a Thursday. So if you're able to participate. Say that again, Mike.
Yes, 20 slots available.
Okay, at least 20 slots available still. Before I go much further, also, I put in an extra thing. Before I go on and split the pot, two things. If you are, and I'll come back to it, if you're on social media, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn or something, we've said this before, go in, check into the Thomasville Rotary Club, tag somebody in the club, get the word out as we continue to grow our membership and be visible in the community. And that brought me to remember Kiva Gray and Roger Bryant are on Zoom with us today, so everybody can say hello and wave out. Doc.
Tammy mentioned the Grateful Heart in her prayer. I've got one today because Roger's transplant has been approved. he hadn't heard from Baptist when he'll start. The process is way above my pay grade, but essentially they will take blood out of one arm, they will harvest the white cells, put the blood back in the other, and then for 3 weeks, those white cells, they'll kill off the cancer cells and turn them into stem cells. During that period of time, most people have chemotherapy and radiation. I don't have any idea what they'll do for him. And then after that 3-week period, they'll put them back in. And the theory is that those stem cells that haven't been declared which way they go will fight off the cancer cells. There's no guarantee that it'll be perfect, but it's a good opportunity for that he might do great, and that's what we're praying for. So, but it has been approved, so he should start from scratch.
Thank God. Thank you, Lord. All right. Any other announcements? Bill?
Thank you. Just quick, Friday is the Jonathan White concert. And I go online, Google it. Just absolutely wonderful voice. All free. And invite everybody to first prayer, 21 right now.
Very cool. Other announcements? I realize it's not in the bulletin. The board met a week or so ago and voted to approve some sponsorships and funding for things. As soon as I can get that from the minutes, we'll put it in the bulletin and announce it next week. So my apologies. I know that's something I said I would definitely do in this role, and we'll make sure everybody's aware. Most of it was things that we did last year, or I know the United Way campaign and some other pieces. So I may even mistake about that, but we'll get that out to everybody as far as what the board had approved for funding. So. All right. Announcement. Jen.
Let's do some split the wash. Anybody feeling lucky?
Oh. Steve.
All right, so we collected $83 today. Good job, team. That means that our total pot is now $821, which comes to a 50-50 of $410.50. Draw for you? Want to read it out? No, he's like, no, don't get into it. All right, let's see. 3377221.
721. JP. That was close. You got a heart, you got a red. All right.
I'll see the camera, so you all get the computer. So you know what it is.
Right here.
I just want to make sure.
Oh, I thought you meant like you were on the Zoom and you couldn't see anything. So now Roger, you saw me doing this. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that was okay. Corey, your turn.
Okay.
So like I said, Corey had kind of, one of the things we've done with grants and some of the projects is we're doing some hygiene and some laundry things with the gentleman in the community, and we had some bags we were going to prepare, but we didn't have stuff to put in the bags. So, because we don't have those, we'll do that another time when we've got all the materials. So Corey's going to give us a harvest and variety update today. And everybody knows Corey. You want me to introduce you? No. Okay. Well, you want to do that? I'm good on that. Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for bearing with us. I know you came really excited about a major project. It does not look like that would have happened today, but we will make sure that we get that in order for everyone. And I've got some slides here about, in the sense of mini project, we're going to talk about recreation projects. If I can get this to work.
I got you. Okay. I can
Okay, so we do have a lot of things going on in our recreation from a facility standpoint, and so I really wanted to share those things with you all today. Last year, Molly Lassiter, our program director, came and spoke on our recreation or community programming. But there's been a lot of activity. Obviously, one of the big ticket items in our community was the aquatic center and everything that brought to the community. But post aquatic center, we've been pretty busy. And you should see some things throughout the community over the last year. We're going to do a brief review of those items, and then we'll roll into everything you'll see happening over the next few months and into the next few years in our community as well. I already apologize to our councilman that this is probably something he's already heard, but we've got some great updates we want to share. So we'll talk about the master plan came after the aquatic center because we didn't know which way we wanted to go as a community. So using that master plan, our council identified their priority list, and from there we're able to start checking boxes at all of our spaces throughout our park system. That did happen in January of 2024, and we're going to do a brief review of 24 because we have about 6 or 7 capital projects that you may be aware of or may not, but they were big impacts for our park system. So the council took our master plan and were able to identify top priorities throughout our community, and the top 3 that came out of that master plan were our dog park, our Central Recreation Campus, and also the Reginald Strickland Center. So where do we stand on our master plan right now? We're already checking some of those boxes. Out of the executive summary that was provided for our master plan, we had a list of multiple things that we wanted to tackle. Some of those are already completed, some of those are in the works. But the best thing about that master plan, and I'm going to refer to that a lot because it really is our template for our facility side of our recreation system. It's online. It's on our main page of our website, and you can access it if you want to take a look at it and see where we're headed. But some of the things we've already checked off. We've retrofit and relit Cushwa Stadium with LED lighting. Central Recreation Center, if you've been by, you see activity there. It's underway. Myers Park, we have dog equipment being installed today for the dog park. It's happening right now. And some other things. But I got pictures because words are a little bit more boring than pictures, to be honest with you. So, our 2024 projects. So some things that you may be aware of, may not be aware of, and I'm just reviewing the capital items of last year. We were fortunate enough to have funding from the T. Austin Finch Foundation to support a brand new shelter at Memorial Park. Memorial Park is one of our major parks. It's obviously where the pool is, but also Cushwa Stadium and other amenities. And that shelter came to fruition because of their support of the shelter on our pool deck. We couldn't have added that amenity to our pool deck without that foundation. And when they saw the benefit of a nice shelter and what stood there during the time that the pool was being built, they wanted to make sure that all of our shelters were up to the standard that they wanted to see in the community. So they supported that, and we added that shelter and opened it up in May. And I believe last summer and spring and fall, we had about 35 different events on weekends there with birthday parties and things like that for the community. The cool thing about our shelters is they are free for reservation. So our community are able to reserve them with a permit, and they are free to use for small level events. The next thing, Molly hit on this during her presentation, but again, the last time we spoke on our system was 23, I believe, in here right before the pool opened. And the golf course is rolled under our umbrella in the recreation department. And so great things have been added to the golf course over the last 2 years. And when one of those amenities, which was very helpful for anyone who's played out there, is we no longer have to use the woods. We have a restroom positioned right in between hole 3 and 15, if you're familiar with the course. But the cool thing about this facility is it's also solar powered pumping, and it's all green, really. It's septic, and it doesn't hook up to any of this infrastructure. So that's a really neat facility on our course.
That's for the ladies.
Yeah, and for the lady golfers as well, it's a big amenity. Exactly. So you'll see Mr. Don Kleiner obviously is in this picture. He is the chair of the golf committee, so if you have any issues with our golf course, please direct those to Don. They're good to me. Another thing that we did is low-level kind of thinking. You think that you just paint and re-roof a place, but we renovated our clubhouse. And that's the former clubhouse and the original look of our facility. But over the last year, we were able to renovate it with a new green roof to match all of our other infrastructure and a paint job that really gave it a dynamic look. It's really been well received by our golfers. And it also matches the bathhouse, so it really turned well. This is a special touch from our city manager. It is Tar Heel blue for Doc Williams. But it's also light blue because it was the mosquito blue look for the coastal communities where our outdoor porch now, they say that helps deter mosquitoes. And Michael made a point of that when we were out looking and reviewing the facility, so this turned out very nicely. I did speak about Cushwa Stadium. Our lights there were about 40 years old, and they were really in trouble. They got to the point where they could not be replaced, so we were just pulling off bulbs and never replacing them. But there is a standard of play, especially for our schools. We do have a lease, obviously, with the school system for the use of our athletic facilities, but to stay within the standard of NCHSA play, you have to have a certain amount of foot candles. I never knew that until we started getting really dim. But these lights are LED lights that you see being installed, and those are the former lights on the ground. The neat thing about these is a really cool point is that last year, once recreational and scholastic football was set by schedule, we never touched the lights. We scheduled them one time when they came on. Every game, they also were able to be turned off by an app. I can turn them on right now on this phone. They said that over time they give you data, and they said we probably were able to save about a day's worth of lighting by being able to do early turnoffs and things with the app to make sure we were saving energy at the facility. Last year in October, we opened our new administrative office. Our administrative office now is on the Central Recreation Campus. It's on Main Street. It's the former TFI HR building. So it's a small brick building across the street from our rec center, but it now houses our administrative team and programming team. It's a really hidden, it was a gym. It was a opportunity with ARP funding to purchase the property. All the parking lot came with it. And really the building came with the parking lot because that's the whole reason why we needed the facility. But it's turned out, it was serving as a church, and now it's turned out to be a nice office for our administrative staff. It really puts us on campus with the center, which you'll see why it's important for us to be there. These are just a few photos of those areas. We have a small conference room that we're able to manipulate chairs. We had a coaches meeting last night, so that's why it looks like that. But then that's my office. It's a little messy, but I wanted to kind of show. These are really up-to-date pictures too, because once we weren't doing a mini project, some of these were taken today. So that's what my office looks like right now. So that's a review of the 24 projects, the capital projects. If you have any questions about those, let me know. We've got some of that funding was ARP funding, that obviously timelines trend that way. Some of it was foundation funding, but some of it was also revenue funds with the city and recreation reserve funding. So there's a lot of different pots that we're able to pull through for our department. So the dog park. The dog park is currently being installed at Myers Park. That was one of the top requests from our community in the master plan process. That site and that project is being funded by the Recreation Reserve that our council has put into place and continues to utilize to fix our spaces. It currently has been graded, seeded, and we are now installing all the dog equipment. That will be happening over this week with dog tunnels, dog ramps, and then for humans, shade sails in multiple areas for you to be able to sit out of the sun with benches, and also leash holders and waste baskets for the dog waste. We're still learning on how to dispose of the dog waste. I didn't know that there was certain ways to do that, but we'll talk about that. There's ways to get rid of dog waste that are important to stormwater. You learn more every time you add an amenity. But this morning, the employees from the recreation company are on site installing the equipment, and you'll see that it's about, I think, a little bit over a half acre of space, and for Myers Park, it's just the end of the parking lot, all that unused area. And the good thing is, some conversations have been that small, but the guys put it in, we're like, this is a pretty large area for a dog park, and compared to where they put them in, so that made me feel pretty good that it should be a good use, and then help some of our athletic fields not be dog parks. And people can come to a dog park, because that's no fun playing in left field and finding a surprise out there for you. We did have a question about waste, and there is a company that's local called Duty Calls, and you can contract with them to come pick your site once a week. We intend to reach out to them to see about that. If it's popular, it should be pretty cool in a lot of different ways. The Central Recreation Campus, as you'll see, is experiencing a lot of renovation. That we were fortunate enough to apply for an accessible parks grant, and were awarded that in September. It was a 1 to 5 grant that the council approved us applying for, and that entailed $100,000 from the city to $500,000 for state funding for the front of the Central Rec campus. Right now on campus, you'll see a lot of different amenities being either renovated or added. So you'll see our playground right now has no mulch, no dirt, no nothing. That is because accessible surfacing is coming in. So you'll curb this site, you'll turf this actually. And so now no more mulch at the playground. That makes it usable for all abilities, and also safer to use. The other area of the site that's vacant right now was another of the former tennis courts. That's coming up on site, where it's already up. And a new shelter will be added for our kids and community to use. 20 by 30 shelter, and it's a shade sail shelter, so it'll have color to it and look a little bit different than the one we saw previously. And then a national fitness campaign also chose our community to add their fitness court in our community, and that will be here. If you ride by right now, you'll see a 38 by 38 slab of concrete, and from that comes an outdoor fitness court that is free to use for the public. That is the rendering of what we'll receive downtown. It is a 7-station body weight, free to use workout area. It has a QR code on the wall that you can download the app for free and utilize the facility. It also has illustrations of how to use the equipment, but it also allows us to program, and I wasn't going to talk about programming much, but our center director is extremely into fitness, and he is already doing training to become an ambassador for the court to be able to do some programming in the community to help folks learn how to use it too. So those are amenities that you'll see. That installs April 26th, the shade sail should be April 14th, and the surfacing should be April 21st. So the whole site should look a little bit different within a month and a half. And the neat thing that we've talked about, Michael and I and others, is this downtown. So we talk about all the energy downtown. This is a downtown block that should be renovated and upfit over the next year and a half. And then you'll be seeing almost $1 million of investment between grants and local funding to enhance this space downtown. And we, as a city, can control that. So that's a good thing for us to be able to do. So that is what you will see over the next month. The grant also provided funding for wider sidewalks, accessible parking, because it is a voting, polling center, and to be able to get in the building cleaner. We have steps, we want ramps, we want that kind of thing. This is an overhead shot of the site, and what is to come in the phase 2 would be 6 pickleball courts and a tennis court would be out front. That is not part of the $600,000 grant, so we will be using hopefully some local funds as well as some support from foundations potentially to get this amenity added. But it would be the bow on, whatever to say, it's the ribbon or tie the ribbon on. But this is another large request for our master plan was this amenity, pickleball. Pickleball's huge. We have 3 courts that go every day at Central Rec Center, but we want the outdoor space. And we still have enough tennis play that we thought that it would be necessary to keep a court, because if not, at that point, we're lacking in those facilities in the community. This is just an example of some innovative lighting. It's called tweener lighting, and however in the weeds we want to get. There's new lighting that can be installed across the 10-foot top rail, and that can be your lighting to illuminate your court now instead of needing the big lights that we saw at Cushwa Stadium. So hopefully this is a product that'll work. I've seen good reviews, but it's a way to enhance those courts and have a nice glow downtown. Because you have a lot of play in the mornings, but that is older adults because they obviously have the ability to get there. But we do have a lot of younger folks and a lot of middle-aged folks who want to play pickleball that obviously during the workday can't get there. So they would want to do it in the evenings. So again, no better of a thing than young adults, middle-aged folks playing pickleball and then going down to eat somewhere in downtown. It's an activity center is what we're trying to do with the Central Rec campus. Another amenity that's coming is a half-pipe addition to the Doak Park Skate Park. We have multiple quarter pipes and multiple trapezoid, some kind of box that you grind on. The half pipe is an amenity that'll be brand new. Some of the stuff I just listen to the skaters tell me they know better than I do. Subject matter experts. But this amenity will be coming in July, set to be installed July 22nd. We were fortunate enough for the T. Austin Finch Foundation to fully fund this half pipe as well. So they've been huge supporters of what we're doing. It's a nice amenity that will help improve that space, and it's one of our most used spaces actually. Last 2 things I'll hit on, not there yet, but the master plan identified the need for hopefully renovations to the Reginald Strickland Center. The Reginald Strickland Center is located at Carver Park. It is our oldest facility now that has not received major structural renovations in the last 60 years, 70 years. It was moved to our park, or to Carver Park in 1949, and it is a community center that's used all the time. So the plan found that as a need. Our council has seen that as a need and hope to address that need in the future. These are just some pictures of the example of that. It is a metal building from the 40s that is brick in, and as you can see, interior renovations have occurred. It is used very regularly. But it's in an area of our park system that we want to make sure that we honor the history of that park, show that it needs to be standard of all of our other facilities, to be quite frank. And so it's one that we look to begin thoughtful design, because we don't just build a building or renovate a building in a couple months, but if we do it right, it can be a great asset to our park system, as that facility already is. And then the last thing that the master plan, I believe, denoted in these slides are hopeful expansion to our southern area of our city. Our park system is very traditional, with our most southern park really being Myers Park, with the infrastructure of playgrounds and those type of things. So we're looking at opportunities to enhance this space. We hope to be able to do that because obviously when we annexed in the early 2000s, there's a playground behind Finch Field that helps serve the Hasty area a little bit. Fairgrove area is still needing some enhancement, and we talked about the pilot area as well, potentially in the future, to expand our park system to fit our blueprint of our city. Greenway expansion, we do pay attention to that. We know that that's a big ask. We have identified an area between Unity Street and Colbert Avenue as one of our major thoroughfares. That also is Memorial Park Drive, that section there. We've applied for a grant that we hope to receive that would give us some engineering for that. It is a safe route to school. Most of our children walk to the middle school and high school up Colbert Avenue or Cox Avenue. You get there one way or the other. And Memorial Park, though, already has the infrastructure of the Greenway from the YMCA all the way to that crosswalk. And then we have the infrastructure from our park all the way to Colbert. So if we connect that, our Greenway system would be a 3-mile loop from our aquatic center to our YMCA. So you can park and go back and forth or whatever you need to do. Last but not least, Rotary's impact. We have a water fountain here that you see on the picture. The local foundation within the Rotary Club are providing, sorry, that was my fault, providing a water fountain for Memorial Park. So our playgrounds at Memorial Park will receive a water fountain such as this. It'll have a bottle filler and a fountain for drinking right out off the structure, but it continues to provide clean water locally. So one of the missions of Rotary internationally is clean water, and we thought why not kind of jump on that and do it within our community as well. So this will be the second of that type. We denote that it comes from the Thomasville Rotary Club, and it's just a great amenity for our park system. That was a lot, but I hope that you were able to get some of. Do you have any questions about anything we have going on? Yes, ma'am.
So how late do you think those lights will be on at the pickleball court?
I think that by ordinance, we want them off by 10 p.m. But we have an ordinance that we want people to. Our parks are gone to dust, but we're not going to play till midnight. I'll just put that. So we'll probably send people home about 10 o'clock. Most likely. Our skate park runs to about 9 o'clock, but we'd have to see the use and the demand because there's new technology now. One of our conferences, they have a thing that hangs on the fence where you can stick your paddle in it, and an app will tell you what the weight is for playing pickleball, and it'll tell you when your turn is and all kinds of stuff. So I expect that to be a very busy location once we add all the new amenities. Because we still play youth soccer, t-ball, and youth basketball at that facility. And you know, those programs are, I think it's 215, 220 soccer players right now coming into spring. So it's going to be busy right now. Yes, sir.
Just out of curiosity, do we have any facilities for like table tennis or anything? Or?
So we do not have any specific table tennis facilities. We did buy a concrete table tennis or ping pong table to put on wheels that will be at our pool. So if you visit our pool this year, you'll be able to play outdoor ping pong. And we have seen some of those concrete structures where you add concrete ping pong, concrete cornhole, and then folks just kind of bring. And we've got some ideas for downtown and some of our other park areas, like Pace Park and things, for how to create active spaces to bring people throughout our community. So the last thing I'll leave you with, and just how grateful we are for the support from our community and our council, our managers. We did the math the other day, our parks director, our superintendent and I were looking. Since 2021, there's been $10,058,000 worth of investment in our park system via LGC loans, ARP funding, or local dollars. So you gotta know that they're helping. We don't do all this stuff without that funding, and that's a big number, and we should be very proud of that as a community, I think. And you can see the difference with it. So, anything else? Awesome, thank y'all.
for two reasons. Number one is you're able to put that together in a really short amount of time. And I like the most recent picture, so you probably will never see a presentation that is that up to date as before you gave you. But number two is that you're definitely with the lingo of like, what did you call it, like shred or whatever it was, grind. I think grind. There's some skateboard terms that they say. Pretty impressive. So if you want any new vernacular for what can we say, or you got it. If you'll stand and join me in the four-way dash. It's good to see everybody. We've got a great crowd. Club assembly next week. We'll have some fun things planned and a good time as well. But as we go out and use the talents that we were given to help other people and we interact with those in the community, let's ask ourselves these things. First, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it do good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?